Let me bring in Jeff Duncan, columnist for The Athletic, covering the Saints. He also wrote a book, Peyton and Brees, which came out last fall, goes into great detail about Drew, his relationship with Sean, the team, and the city. All right, Jeff, where are we with Drew Brees and his future?
Well, we're in wait mode, Dan. It's kind of peculiar, but if you know Drew Brees, he doesn't do anything that isn't thorough, and I think he's taken a thorough amount of time to consider this big decision for him. But everything I've been able to gather, he is retiring. I've not talked to one person inside the Saints organization that doesn't believe he's retiring, and I think he tipped his hand last month when he agreed to reduce his base salary from $25 million down to $1 million. That's letting you know he's not going to see any of that money in the fall because he's going to retire. So I think we're all just in wait and see mode when they're going to make the official announcement. 0%
chance. Is that what you're saying?
No, I wouldn't go that far. I would say it's very low though. Drew acted like a player that was done at the end of this season. I mean, all my interactions with him, you could just see it on his face. He knew that his time had come. I mean, he spent an hour and a half after their playoff loss, in the playoffs to the Bucs on the Superdome field with his children, with his wife, Brittany, running pass patterns, just soaking up the moment. I don't think that was by accident. So I guess there is a possibility he's rethought it and considered coming back. I haven't talked to him lately, but I would just be surprised with how the season ended and everything internally. Everyone's on the same page that Drew's moving on.
But I wonder what the local reaction would be, because it feels like they've already moved on to the possibility of Russell Wilson. And as a fallback plan, we got Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston. Would Saints fans react favorably if Drew Brees was coming back, no matter what the salary was?
That's a great question. I don't know how Saints fans would react. I think everyone's moved on. I know Saints coaches have already had conversations with Jameis Winston about him taking the torch. So clearly they've moved on, and they are expecting Drew Brees to retire. I don't know how the fans would react, because I think Drew Brees' last year was so disappointing, especially how he finished in that last game against the Bucs, 3 interceptions, the most in his playoff career. I think people see that Father Time has caught up to him, and they're kind of ready for something different, as great as Drew Brees has been in his career here.
What was the reaction when Russell Wilson named the Saints as one of the 4 teams if he was traded?
Are you kidding me? If they could have had a Mardi Gras parade here for Russell Wilson, we could violate all the COVID restrictions. I think the mayor certainly would have cleared that. And Deshaun Watson's another one. Any big name quarterback, visions of Super Bowl championships are dancing in the minds of Saints fans. As you know, Dan, this is a very passionate NFL market. I mean, it's amazing how popular the Saints are here, and they've had such a long history of poor quarterback play until Drew Brees came around. And now I don't think they know how to react, because they don't know what life is like without an elite quarterback, at least the new generation of Saints fans.
Do they have the assets to acquire a Russell Wilson or a Deshaun Watson?
Well, they could make it happen if they had to, but it would be very difficult. They're way over the salary cap. Mickey Loomis and Kai Harley are geniuses at manipulating that cap, but I think even they would be challenged to bring in a quarterback with an elite salary. They'd have to move some people, and somehow they'd have to get somebody to take Taysom Hill, who they're paying a lot of money to at quarterback. I mean, right now, even without bringing in another quarterback, with Drew Brees retiring and Taysom Hill, they're counting $26 million toward the quarterback position. So it would be very difficult, I think, to bring in someone that's already on a big salary.
That hasn't stopped us from wishful reporting here, right?
No, it's the silly season. I mean, that's the way it operates this time of year. And I will say this, though, the one thing you have to consider, and I know you've had Sean Payton on your show many times. Sean Payton does not believe in rebuilding years and transition years. I mean, the window is always open for him, and he is going to be aggressive. So if he can do something to make it happen, he's going to push Mickey Loomis to make it happen. That's just how Sean thinks. But I really believe he thinks they can win with the quarterbacks they have in the building. I really believe that. In conversations I've had with him, I don't I don't know if it's going to happen, but I think he believes it, and I think that's what matters.
Jeff, thanks for joining us. Hope you're well. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, anytime, Dan. Thanks for having me on.
That's Jeff Duncan, frequent guest on the show. His book, Peyton and Brees, came out last fall. Goes into great detail about Drew's relationship with his coach, the team, and the city.